All right, so I'm sitting in the car. And while I'm sitting in the car waiting for it to do whatever it needs to, this is getting on my nerves. All right. Well, I'm waiting for it to warm up, actually, before I run some quick errands this morning. Let's talk about panic disorder, something that I unfortunately have been diagnosed with. And it's not fun. And what's definitely not fun about it is the fact that apparently I've been dealing with this for years and I just didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? I've been told so many times that I am being dramatic, or it's not that serious, or what was the other one? Oh, you don't have to make an excuse. If you don't want to do something, just say you don't want to do it. Don't act like, you're freaking out or you're having issues. So my thing is, and I'm going to pull up the definition again, and I'm also going to put it over here. Panic disorder is an anxiety disorder characterized by unexpected and repeated episodes of intense fear accompanied by physical symptoms that might include chest pain, heart palpitations, shortness of breath, dizziness, or abdominal distress. So I really hope I don't have to refilm this, because holy crap, oh my gosh, I've been called lazy because I don't want to do certain things because one of these physical symptoms occur. So there were times when while I was dealing with personal issues in 2019, there were times when I was on my way to work and I would get heart palpitations, right? And I wouldn't get chest pain. Thank God for that. I never had chest pain. I would get heart palpitations and I would get so scared that it made me physically ill. So I would get scared. So I would get so scared that when I would get so scared that I can't move. Let's put it that way, because that's literally what happened. Like, I would get close to the office and this wave of fear would come over me, and then I would just stop, which would of course piss some people off if they're like right behind me, or because I'm just randomly stopping. Wherever I am, I must stop. And I would just stop, and I'm sitting there and I'm taking deep breaths. I'm taking deep breaths. I'm taking deep breaths. I'm taking deep breaths. Because if I don't, I will throw up. Literally, I would bring all of the contents of everything that I didn't eat up. So that also stopped me from having breakfast in the morning. I cannot have breakfast before I leave my house. I generally can't eat before going someplace that I haven't been. So like if I'm going someplace for the first time, I cannot eat before I go, because en route I would again have these things happen where it's like overwhelming fear and anxiety. And I always used to just tell people, oh, I changed my mind at the last minute, or I wouldn't mind if someone would be mad at me, because I'm just like, what do you want me to do? But a lot of people didn't get it. Like, a lot of people didn't get it. And even one of the guys that I dated after I separated from my husband just didn't get it, which is why we didn't work out. But hold on, there's a car just hanging out. I'm not moving, so he's gonna be here a while. So it's just like people misunderstand it. And I was diagnosed in 2019 when I was forced to go to the the doctor and get a psych eval because of what I was dealing with. And when I was diagnosed with panic disorder, I was like, no, I don't freak out. I don't be like, I don't do any of that. So like, what does this mean? And she basically, my doctor was female, she basically explained it as this definition that I found online. I don't feel like digging through all of those papers. They kind of give me anxiety. So then that brings me to the next thing, right? What is a panic attack? Excuse me. A panic attack is a sudden episode of intense fear that triggers severe physical reactions when there is no real danger or apparent cause. I missed a friend's baby shower because I had the one and only panic attack when I thought about calling the Uber. Like, that's what I did. I just thought about it. I got dressed. Did I have a gift? No, because I sent all her gifts ahead of time. I got dressed and I couldn't call the Uber. I couldn't call her to tell her, you know, I'm having an anxiety / panic attack. I can't make it. I felt so bad. And then to this day, I still haven't said anything to her. I'm almost positive she is one of the few people who would understand, but it's so hard to say something to someone about it when I've gone so many years with people basically telling me that I'm lying and I'm using it as an excuse and all that stuff. So sorry, Nettie, if you happen to watch this. But that's that. You know what I mean? The positives about it, though, is you kind of find out who your real friends are and who your real people are. Sorry. Can't see shit. I'm short. You find out who your friends are. You find out who your people are. You find out, or you discover rather, that you're not alone. You know what I mean? You don't need to feel like you're alone. There are people out there that understand that this is real and that it's terrifying. I'm not saying that they've dealt with it themselves, but they have enough empathy to know that, you know, this isn't always just an act. For some people, it might be. Thankfully for me it wasn't, but also unfortunately for me it wasn't. 1 second. Hello. Me, but a lot of people seem to feel like I was faking when I said I didn't want to go somewhere, or I couldn't go somewhere because of my anxiety. Excuse me. And of course, I gave you the definitions for both panic disorder and panic attacks. And what I didn't get to is, for a while I was on medication for it because it got so bad in 2019 that I needed assistance in getting it all under control. And it worked. You know, for the time that I had to be on medication, it worked. It worked really well. I was able to go to work. I was able to go to the supermarket. I was able to be at events, be around family members, friends. It was just too much for me to deal with. So it's like it's like I was almost myself again, but at the same time I see myself as an introvert because, like, I'm most happy when I'm by myself sometimes, or like if I'm in a group of people, I'm not always one who needs to be seen or heard. I'm not that type of person. So you know, going out and being around like tons of people wasn't always my thing. And it didn't help that I would get panic attacks whenever I was forced to do so. So I was able to do group outings at work with friends, with family, and it got a lot better. And then, of course, COVID happened. And we're not going to pretend that it's not a thing. It's not a big deal. So I'm back in the house. Errands kind of completed. The last thing I was talking about while I was in the car is how being around people was more tolerable while I was on medication. And I was explaining how I see myself as an introvert. Being an introvert is when I'm around too many people or large groups of people, or maybe even two people for a long stretch of time, I get exhausted. And when I say exhausted, I mean, I feel like I could sleep for 12 hours after that. So all the introvertness happens because, introvert. And then COVID happens. And then there's the lovely anxiety that comes from being around people that, one, don't believe in putting on a mask, two, don't believe in the science behind vaccines, three, just don't give a about anybody except themselves, and four, people like me who want to stay safe, who don't want to get sick, and who also has kids. You know what I mean? Like, my kids aren't babies, but they are still my children. They're still my kids. And I don't want them to get COVID. COVID just didn't help me personally. My anxiety was through the roof. If I had to go to the supermarket, I would have a major panic attack before even leaving my house. Because, especially early on, going to the supermarket could kill you. It could kill you. Because that's before the mask mandates. Like, you can just, you wear it, you don't. It's up to the businesses whether they'll let you in. There are people that would go in to stores or supermarkets and then take their mask off and then just be like, rah, rah. So then I was like overly worried about that, and COVID didn't help. Isn't helping. And then there's the return to work, because I am once again working from home. Of course, it depends on what's going on outside in the world. The company that I work for, we go back and forth between in the office, working from home, voluntary, blah blah blah. And soon it's going to be time to discuss, returning to the office. And that might be a reason that my panic attacks are back in full swing. I've been dealing by slowly but surely stepping out of my comfort zone. I would, like you see this morning, I would go for a drive where I deal with my kind of cabin fever / stir craziness without actually interacting with anyone. I am in the car. I do not have time to speak to people, see people. I don't want no parts of it. I'm having all types of things going on. Like right now, my nose is itching, my ear is itching. I forgot I had an AirPod in my ear. Like, all of this is going on, and then, like, give me some time, I'm gonna start getting hot, and I'm sitting here in a freaking turtleneck. But long story short, I have panic disorder. I suffer from panic attacks. Medication helped when it was at its worst. Right now, I just kind of pace myself. I listen to my body. If I'm feeling a kind of way about a situation, then I just avoid it. If it's something that I kind of can't avoid, then I try my best to ease myself into said situation or situations where, for instance, I would try meditating, or I would listen to classical music. That helps a lot. I love classical piano. I would listen to some of my favorite slow jams from when I was growing up. Not the stuff that's out now. I listen. Like old school R&B type of a thing. Sometimes you'd catch me listening to jazz. I've learned ways to cope, and I haven't been on medication for, let's just say, 2 years. It's January 20th. So it's just like, it's whatever. I've learned to do things that help. That's the point. And that's how I've managed, and that's how I hope to continue to manage while I learn new ways, or more healthier ways, or other healthier ways of managing my panic disorder. Hopefully it gets to a point where it kind of just stops permanently. I would love that, but we'll see. That's it. My ramble's done. Now I'm coughing. I am slowly going through the cycle of an impending panic attack, and I would rather not catch that on video, because who the hell wants to see that? But yeah, I'll just wrap this up here. I'll see you guys in the next one. If I remember anything while editing, you'll get little post-edit clips being... But until then, bye people.